So here's a really simple lead idea in the key of A minor, but it's a little boring the way that I'm going to play it. Check it out. So we're in the key of A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So good idea. I like it. Ba-do-da-dee-da-da-da-da. But right off the bat, when you heard me sing it, I went ba-do-da-dee-da-da-da-da. Not that I'm trying to be a good singer, but I really want to connect with my phrase, right? I want to sing through my guitar. So what I did is I went da-dee-da-dee, that little bend. And there's a little vibrato at the end. And there was also a little bit of a slide into the first note. Da. Right? So if we're trying to sing through our guitar, we want to use techniques that'll make us sound more like a singer. So in this lesson, we're going to go over 5 techniques that are really going to bring your single note ideas to life and also make it easier to play different ideas and also make really simple things sound much more awesome. So we're going to go over hammer-ons, pull-offs, vibrato, slides, and bends, all by taking a simple riff first and then bringing it to life by using these techniques. Before we get into the lesson, please go ahead and click subscribe so that you get all of the latest and greatest content from Guitar Tricks. And if you want to be notified of any new lesson, be sure to tap that bell and let us know in the comments section any new lessons you'd like to see. That's where we're always looking for ideas. All right, let's get into it. All right, so let's go back to that first idea I had. So we're in A minor pentatonic. So first, see if you could play this idea without any decoration. Now let's start to incorporate different techniques to bring it to life. So first with slides, we can go like this. Let's slide into the first note with our third finger. So you've got the tab there, and what I'm playing is 7th fret on the D, then 5 to 7 on the G, then 5 on the B, then 7, 5 on the G, and then 7 on the D twice. So I'm really taking advantage of this nice little middle section of A minor pentatonic pattern 1. So now the first thing I'm going to do to bring it to life is slide in to the first note. Right? Already it's better. See if you could do that. Use your third finger. Okay, now I really want to add a little bit of vibrato at the end. So the same note I slide into, I'm going to add some vibrato so that now we're going da-dee-da-dee-da-da-da-da, right? That little vibrato at the end. So I'm going to take that note and I'm just going to go up and down with my third finger. Right? So I'm just kind of shaking the note up and down. Now my vibrato technique, I like to plant the side of my hand on the bottom of the fretboard. And I like to use it as a fulcrum to kind of go like that. So I put my finger, my third finger on the note. And I just shake it up and down, right? But it's more of this motion and less in the fingers. You want to practice this with all your fingers. Cool, so now we've got... Let's see if we could come in at the same time. So it comes out on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So it comes in on the end of 2, right? So I'm going to go 1, 2, da-dee-da-dee, and you're going to come in on the end of 2. 1, and 2, and 3, like that. Here we go. 1, and 2. Okay, now I added something there that some people think is a way to just play faster, which is a pull-off, but it's also a way to connect notes. So the next thing I did after this, so that was slide and vibrato, is this. I pull off on the way back down between 7 and 5 on the G string. So now we've got slide, and then here's a pull off, and then vibrato. So with the pull off, what you want to do is keep your first finger planted on that 5th fret of the G string, and then just pull off from the 7th fret to the 5th fret. With that ring finger, you kind of pull down and out a little bit because you want to kind of pluck it in a subtle way. There's like a pluck. A good way to practice pull-offs is just don't even use your pick and just see if you could go. Right? So you saw me add a little vibrato on this note too. Sometimes I add vibrato out of habit. Actually, sometimes I add vibrato too much, but that's another option. Right now it sounds even more vocal. And let's try one more thing. Let's hammer on the same 2 notes that we pulled off on the way up. So here we got slide, then we've got hammer, and same with hammer, you could practice the hammer on pull-off. It's all about hitting the note dead center with the very tip of your finger. The other thing is you want to mute adjacent strings with the flesh of your finger. So I'm kind of muting the D string with the tip of my index finger. I'm muting the B string with the flesh of my index finger. So this way, you're only hearing the G string and not this. All right? So muting is an important part of this as well. So slide, hammer, vibrato if you want, pull off, vibrato. Okay, now we've gone over hammer on, pull off, slide, vibrato. The last technique is bending. So now when I go da-dee-da-da-da, that's a bend, right? So that's how I sound more like a vocalist. Now, the hardest thing about bends is getting them in tune. So I want to match the sound of the 9th fret on the G string by bending the 7th fret of the G string. So, and I could test it. And the fact that I added the hammer-ons and pull-offs, I can play it much faster. So sliding into 7th fret of the D. Now hammer, 5 to 7 on the G. And then bend. And then pull down. This is all one pick. Hammer, bend, drop the bend down, pull off. It's easier at a fast speed. It sounds better at a fast speed. So we've got, there's the phrase again with only 4 picks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so at a fast speed, you know, it sounds really vocal and you're not picking a lot. You know, I could pick it at that speed. To me, that sounds more boring. It sounds very ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. It doesn't sound vocal. There's more emotion in it. instead of. Anytime you learn a new phrase, what you should try to do is bring it to life using these different techniques, right? And whenever you're practicing, whatever line you're practicing, practice it with hammer-ons, practice it with pull-offs, practice it with slides. Use these different expressive techniques to modify the way that you say a line. And what I think is really also important is singing a phrase. So hopefully you sang it with me from the very beginning. You went, da dee da 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 da. It helps you build that connection. And then once you build that connection, you're just expressing yourself through the guitar. And it's much easier to pull creative ideas from here than from here. If you're just saying, I wonder what that sounds like. I wonder what that sounds like. That's more making things happen by accident. Things that happen accidentally don't have the kind of intention that really grabs a listener, right? So how do you build that intention? Well, singers, everything they sing is purposeful, unless they're a little flat or sharp and they're having trouble finding the right note, but they hear something in their head before it comes out. So we want to build that connection on the guitar. We hear it in our head and then it comes out. By knowing that this da-dee-da-da-da-da-da-da looks like this on the guitar, well, then, when you have that idea, you'll be able to find it, right? It'll literally be like an extension of your vocal cords. And the singing really helps with that. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. If you want to learn more about playing guitar in a step-by-step kind of curriculum where there's fundamentals courses, there's step-by-step rock, blues, country. There's also a library of multi-video song lessons with downloadable tab and jam tracks. Head over to guitartricks.com. Happy playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.